All right, so today we're going deep on something pretty wild.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, you know how we like to look into the more, bizarre corners of history?
Yeah, always interesting stuff.
Exactly. Well, this one's really out there.
Hey.
Okay, so imagine a retired kamikaze pilot.
Wait, hold on. A retired kamikaze pilot.
I know, right? Seems kind of impossible.
Just a little bit, yeah.
But this guy, Shibu Nakimoto, he supposedly flew 26 kamikaze missions and somehow lived to tell the tale.
26. Wow.
Yeah, 26. I mean, come on, the odds of surviving even one of those missions were like basically zero.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was kind of the whole point, wasn't it?
Exactly. It's insane. So we've got this excerpt about Shibu Nakimoto and his story, and we're going to try to figure out how on earth did this guy make it.
All right, color me intrigued.
Yeah, let me just paint a picture here. World War II, Japan's on the ropes, and they're resorting to these kamikaze attacks. Pilots loaded up with explosives, basically crashing themselves into Allied ships.
Yeah, these were desperate times, a last-ditch effort to turn the tide, and it was a one-way trip for the pilots, no question about it.
Right, a suicide mission, basically.
Yeah.
So how did he survive 26 of these things? It just boggles the mind. And get this, the excerpt mentions he had some unusual protective gear. A Kevlar helmet.
A Kevlar helmet.
And a good luck pillow from his grandmother.
Interesting. Although a Kevlar helmet in 1944 Japan seems a little off, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Kevlar wasn't really a thing back then, right?
Yeah.
It was developed much later.
Right. Maybe something's lost in translation there, or maybe it's some, fictional flourish added to the story later on. But the pillow, that's a different story.
Yeah.
It's a real human touch,
Yeah.
Like even in this completely insane situation, he's holding on to something familiar, something for comfort.
Totally. I mean, can you imagine strapped into a plane knowing you're about to fly it into a warship and all you've got is your grandma's pillow?
It's heartbreaking and kind of bizarrely heartwarming at the same time.
Yeah, it really speaks to that human need for some kind of anchor, even in the face of, well, certain death.
So, okay, fast forward, the war's over, and what does Shibu Nakimoto do? He moves to Akron, Ohio, and becomes a professional bowler.
A bowler? Really?
I kid you not, and not just any bowler.
Yeah.
He becomes a protege of, wait for it, Guppy Troop,
Guppy Troop, the bowling legend.
the one and only, and they meet, get this, in a Sherwin-Williams paint store.
Okay, now that's a curveball I did not see coming.
Right, you can't make this stuff up, but it actually kind of makes sense in a way. Think about it, post-war America. It was a time of optimism, of rebuilding.
Yeah, there was this sense of possibility in the air, a boom time for the country.
And bowling was
Yeah.
huge. It was like a quintessential American pastime.
It was affordable, accessible, a way for people from all walks of life to come together,
Wow.
A symbol of peace and prosperity, especially appealing to those who had just come out of, well, a war.
Yeah, so for Shibu, this kamikaze pilot who'd stared death in the face bowling in Akron, Ohio, it must felt like a whole new world.
A world away from the horrors of war, a chance to just live a normal life.
And he did for a while, at least.
Yeah.
But then, and this is where it gets really ironic, Shibu dies in 1977
Oh, no, how?
in an accident at an ocean spray factory involving frozen cranberries.
Frozen cranberries. You're kidding me, right?
I wish I was, but
Yeah.
no, that's how the man who survived 26 kamikaze missions met his end, taken out by a frozen cranberry.
Wow. Talk about a twist of fate.
It's almost unbelievable, isn't it? Like he cheats death over and over again in the most extreme circumstances, and then it makes you think about fate, about chance, about how we try to make sense of life's weird turns.
Yeah, it's a lot to unpack. I mean, on one hand, you have this incredible story of survival almost defying the odds, and then on the other, this mundane, almost comical end.
Right. It's like life has a dark sense of humor sometimes.
Yeah, almost like it's saying, oh, you thought you could escape me that easily. Here's a cranberry.
So out of everything we just talked about,
Hmm.
what would you say, what's the most important thing to remember about Shibu Nakimoto?
Well, I think Shibu's story, it shows us that even when faced with unimaginable challenges, people can adapt, they can find hope and create a new life. I mean, this guy went from fighting in a war to embracing a completely different culture. It's a testament to human resilience.
Yeah, it's a reminder that life is unpredictable and that even the most extraordinary stories can have ordinary endings.
Exactly. And maybe that's the lesson here, that no matter how wild the ride, it's the journey, the ability to adapt and change that truly defines us.
Shibu Nakimoto kamikaze pilot bowler, and ultimately a reminder that life is full of surprises.
And frozen cranberries, apparently.
Yeah, can't forget those.
Never underestimate the power of a frozen cranberry.
Words to live by. All right, folks, that's our deep dive for today. Hope you enjoyed the ride.
It was a wild one for sure.
As always, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time for another deep dive into the weird and wonderful corners of history.
See ya then.